we just got the worksheets squared away, download them. Again, they're going to be just like the ones from last time where you print them and you just kind of like scribble in. So should be easy. We'll get to them as we go. So this is going to be week 4 of the Crush 2021. And again, this is being recorded. So if you don't want yourself recorded, then like turn your camera off or whatever. But being able to have a little bit of banter is wonderful, and I'm really glad we were able to capture some of that last time. So I'm sure just listening to everybody talk helped people from last time. So thank you for being here last time, and we're just going to get right into it. So again, welcome to the best year of my life. Really get in the habit of saying that. This week we're going to talk about how to play to win. Okay, and the two words I really want you to hear are play and win. Okay, I'm not talking about doing a bunch of work. There's moments here where it's going to sound like work, but we're leading up to a point where I'm going to show you how it becomes fun. So we're going to go over a map for success, how to keep score, and we're going to talk about templates. So a map for success. What does that, what does it look like with your OKR? So I'm just going to walk through a little story here, and I feel like it demonstrates so much of what it's like in a very simple manner. Let's say you've got a map, and you and some friends are going to take a road trip. You're going to go from LA to New York City. You know that much. So you've got some OKRs here. If we were to write this as an OKR, you would have the objective is to go to New York City. The KR is the miles away. That's how you measure. If this number is going down as you get closer, then you know you're getting closer to your goal. If this number miles away goes up, then you know you're going in the wrong direction, right? And of course, you've got the heart on there to power your why. And I would imagine in this case, it'd be like, because we want to have a great time together, or something like that. But long story short, road trip, we're going from LA to New York. So we're going to brainstorm as a group of friends, like, okay, well, everybody wants to start by going to Las Vegas. Makes sense. Everybody's in. Let's spend a night or two in Las Vegas. If we're going to go to New York City, might as well stop in Las Vegas. And from there, there's talk of going to Salt Lake City and Denver to go snowboarding, stop in Chicago to see an old friend. Everybody kind of wants to stop in DC and take the tour, and then we're going to hit New York. But at the same time, we could also go to Austin because we got a friend there. We would love to go to New Orleans, hit Atlanta, and then go to DC. So as a group, we're kind of brainstorming, and we've come up with 2 ways that we could get to New York City. The way we're going to write that is basically going to be all these little projects. So you should already recognize everything that we looked at last time on that worksheet. The OKR is your destination, your direction. The little projects are all the things you could be doing. And I want to stress that a little bit. All of this is something we could do. We haven't committed to it. We're just open to ideas. We're open to cities we could go to. At some point, we're going to make a plan, and we're going to start to committing to things. Only the things we're actually going to do. So as a group, everyone says, well, you know what? I don't want to decide right now. How about we get in the car, we drive to Vegas, and then we'll talk about it while we're in Vegas if we want to go to Salt Lake or if we want to go to Austin. And everyone goes, that sounds great. Let's do that. And so everybody gets in the car, we drive out to Vegas, and that's basically how the road trip starts. We've got a destination, we've got a list of the things that are doable, and now we have something to do. Does that make sense? The next step is we get in the car and start moving, we put some effort in, and we get to Vegas. So we're going to check that off. That's done. So this is a good example of what workflow is going to look like. After a day in Vegas, we decide, you know what? I don't really want to go to Austin. I want to go snowboarding. And we check the weather and realize, oh, they just had a whole bunch of snow dumped on them. We're definitely going snowboarding. So we decide, okay, Austin's out. As part of that, the group is we're going to take those projects and slide them over into done. I know they're not technically done. They're canceled, right? But we made a decision, and that's the important thing. The done part is we decided these are no longer on the possibilities list. These are no longer worth having in the doable column. Get them out of the way. So that's how that works. So I'm going to update that to say done or canceled. From here, Now we know we're committed to going to Salt Lake City, Denver, and Chicago. We're not exactly sure what our timeline is. We're not sure when we're going to get to DC, but right now the solid plan is we're going to get back in this car. We're going to go to Salt Lake City, then we're going to go to Denver, then we're going to go to Chicago. Let's go. So I want to make a distinction here. Things that were in the doable column were possibilities, right? There are endless possibilities. Things that made it to the to do column are defined, they're prioritized, we're committed to them, and they have a due date. So we are going to Salt Lake City in the next 2 days. We're going to Denver in the next 2 days. We're going to Chicago in the next 2 days. And that's how you get things in that column. If it's not well defined, it shouldn't be in that column yet. If it's not prioritized, like if we don't know we're going to Salt Lake City first, it could be a disaster. If we're not committed to it, we might put it in that column and just never check it off. So you have to make sure you're committed to things before you put them in there. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed with stuff you don't really want to do, but for some reason is on your to-do list. And again, a due date is the difference between this pile of things that are possibilities and things that have a due date, which means they're going to get done. Okay.
That's one thing I actually really, if you don't mind me interjecting for a second here, like that I really liked from your last meeting was where you said, whatever you're putting down for your OKRs, can you do it today? Can I get started today? And that's actually it's a very smart way, I think, from my observation of just having a reachable or attainable goal is like there's a step you can take immediately, you know?
Yeah. And I guess just riffing off of that, the OKR, go to New York City, is a pretty big thing that's very far off. But we broke it into smaller pieces by saying, let's go to Vegas. Then let's make a decision about what to do next. Then let's go to Salt Lake. So we broke it into smaller pieces that are check-offable, just like you said. So thank you for that. I want to call out a little bit of just time. So I drew a timeline here at the bottom. Things that are in the done column are in the past. Things that are on the all the other end, the destination, are like the distant future. So you can see here, when I originally started showing you these slides, they kind of seemed like they were moving backwards. Everything's pointing left. The reason for that is because of the timeline at the bottom. The past is behind us. Today is usually sitting between done and to do. And then you have a time block that you've defined. So our time block and our to do in this case is probably like 2 or 3 days, because we're going to go to Salt Lake City and we're going to go to Denver, go to Chicago. So whatever the group decided, in the next 4 days, we're going to do these 3 cities. Does that make sense? So the time block could change. It could be your goal for the year, or it could be your goal for the week. From there, you can see in the near future, we're still planning on going to DC and New York. And the distance future is the whole direction. So this is how things like become reality. Your OKRs, like with your dreams, are going to sit there way in the distant future. And then you're going to break them into smaller pieces that are going to be in the near future. And then from there, you start putting them on a calendar and they become things that get done. Does that make sense? I don't feel like it's too complicated. I just want to go slow. So this whole thing right now, this is what we're calling a roadmap. And I'm going to put a little camera on here. Take a photo of this. This is probably going to help you a lot when you're all up in it and you're trying to remember, how is this supposed to work? It's not supposed to be complicated. I know it can look a little complicated sometimes, but short version is destination, doable, to do, and done. And honestly, like, each one is so simple. Doable is just a pile of projects, quite literally. And to do is, again, just a pile of projects you put on a calendar. So now we're going to continue to walk through this. So, I'm going to let Alex finish his photo. Okay. So we're going to continue to walk through this just for the experience. So currently, our team, our group, sitting in Las Vegas. We know that we're getting in the car, we're heading to Salt Lake City. We have a plan. So let's say we get to Salt Lake City. Awesome, check that off. We snowboard for a few days. We get back in the car. We do it again. Now we're in Denver. We snowboard for a few more days. We get another great dump of powder, so we decide to stay an extra day or two. And in the process, we realize, holy crap, we don't have enough time to actually stop in Chicago anymore. We're just going to have to go through it. So at that moment, we're like, okay, well, let's just cross Chicago off our list. And so we pass Chicago over to the done column. It's canceled, right? Not a big deal. People do this on road trips all the time, right? From here, we know that the next place we're going to go is DC because we still want time for DC. And we want to make sure we hit New York because that's our ultimate destination. So we get in the car, we go through Chicago, we go stop at DC, we enjoy ourselves, see the sights, and then we go to New York. And from there, we have a whole other plan, like what are we gonna do in New York? Once that last item got over here, the whole OKR is done, right? That is possible. Sometimes you'll have an OKR that you can check off. Sometimes you'll have an OKR that you can't check off. So just keep that in mind. It's okay to check one off. It's also okay not to check off an OKR. You might just end up making projects for it for the rest of your life, right? Like if, for example, one of your OKRs was to be a great husband and father, you're probably never going to check that off, right? You're probably always going to be trying to get there, which is awesome. So I'm just going to wipe those out for a second, just to give you a look at the empty template here. You have your destination. That's where we're going. That's where your OKRs are going to sit. Doable, that's your map of possibilities. To do, what you will get done, you're committed to them, they're defined, they're prioritized, they're on the calendar. And the things that are actually done or you've decided not to do. So I'm just gonna make this just look a little bit more like the stuff that we've been looking at so far. So here's your OKRs, it's your direction and how you're gonna measure your results for getting there. Here's your project pile, it's your map, all the ideas and projects you could do, but you're not committed to yet. Then you've got your committed projects, only what you will do. And they're clearly defined, prioritized projects that you are 100% committed to, finishing with a due date. And then done is going to be done or canceled. And I want to call out there, if something's canceled or if something doesn't get done right or whatever, if you decide to stop working on a project, if you're not going to do any more work in the future, slide it into done. If you're going to do more work in the future, push it back into doable. And when you decide to start working on it again, that's fine, right? You can keep things around. I wanted to make a distinction in the done column. When things go wrong, that is good, okay? When we were in Denver and we decided to stay for more snow and skipped Chicago, we slid Chicago into the done pile as a canceled item. That's not a failure. And I want to really, really stress that with you guys. Like, if you're doing all this correctly, you will never fail. And when things do kind of go wrong a little bit, you should take a moment to ask, what's the lesson? So the lesson was, okay, well, we spent too much time in Denver. That's why we didn't make it to Chicago. But at the same time, worth it, right? Fresh powder, worth it. So when things make it all over to done, you're either going to have victories, check it off, we did it, or you're going to have lessons, didn't quite work out right, but it's going to be better next time. And then the combining element here is that everything over there is on a calendar. So I just want to call out those arrows at the bottom real quick. You have your OKRs, you brainstorm, you get a bunch of projects. You guys have done that already, or started. From there, you make a plan, and you put things on the calendar that you're really going to do. And then your efforts are going to slowly check things off, or you'll make decisions to not do things. Okay? There's a phrase called, it's like a project management phrase, maximize the work not done. And I want to make sure I say that out loud. And talking about projects that you cancel. Every project you decide to cancel is a blessing. Okay? When you realize, you know what? We don't have time for Chicago, and you cross it off your list, you saved so much time as opposed to showing up in Chicago, not facing the decision, wasting a bunch of time in Chicago, realizing, you know what, we don't even have time to be here, and then being late to getting to DC. So by crossing things off, you're actually doing yourself a huge favor. So there's some types of tracking where people decide that they're going to do a whole bunch of things. Like, I'm going to hit all these cities on this list. And then if they don't hit a city, they're down on themselves, or they feel like a failure or something like that. Every project has tracking, and sometimes that happens. People don't get the item done and they feel bad about it. I want you to know, when you don't get the item done, it could be a good thing. It could be that you've decided to save the time and work on a better priority, like snowboarding in fresh powder versus hanging out in Chicago. This would be another one that I would love to see you get a photo of, because when you're looking at the worksheets, this is going to remind you, oh yeah, that's right. That's what I'm doing here. So now I'm just going to replace them with the actual worksheets you're going to see. So that worksheet you guys got last week, literally that's your destination and your doable, right? Your OKRs, and you're brainstorming into projects that you may or may not do. On the other side, we're going to replace it with the worksheet that you're going to get this week. That's it. So this whole big complicated thing breaks down into these 2 worksheets. And I already saw someone snap a photo, but this would be another thing to get a photo if you're doing that. Remember last time, this little picture here where we were talking about my Q4 2020 OKRs. I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them on that worksheet and just walk you through how my last quarter went, so you can see how things would unfold. And things are going to go wrong, and that's good, okay? Just like that road trip, I'm going to walk you through it and you're going to see how things went wrong. So here's our 2 sheets. I've zoomed in a little bit. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of that stuff from last time, and I'm just going to come back to that worksheet and I'm just going to fill it in. So I'm just going to drop in some blue text here. So live authentically because blah, blah, blah. How I'm measuring. We're going to focus on these 3 OKRs, which were best shape of my life, the Kinky Polyatheist channel, and be a great friend. Okay. There it goes. So step 1 is that you're basically just going to copy those major OKRs over to that other worksheet. And I've kind of crossed out all the dates on this just to show you that I'm showing you last quarter, not January. You know, it's October, November, December. Then what you do is you're going to look at the projects and figure out which ones you're going to commit to. So for best shape of my life, I've decided, okay, in October, I'm going to hire a coach. I'm going to work out 4 times a week. November, I'm going to take a month off of alcohol. And again, I want to work out 4 times a week. And then December, work out 4 times a week. That's my plan right now. Those are the projects I plan on doing. And as we go, that could change, just like the cities changed when we were going across the country. For Kinky Polyatheists, I decided to do 4 videos weekly. So I put that goal on each month. And then at the end, I was like, oh, and I also want to write this book. So by December, the book should be written. So that's how I laid that out. From here, we're done planning. So I want to just call it out very clearly. What you see here on the left, that is what it would look like if you made your plan with your OKRs and everything from the right. It's going to be mostly blank, so it shouldn't take that long. From there, action. So now we're going to start talking about time passing. So let's say the first week I tracked my weight here, and I guess I'll just call it out. Like, you've got a column for October, November, and December, and the boxes there are how many weeks are in the month. So 4 weeks in October, 4 weeks in November, 4 weeks in December. I actually don't think that's true. I think it's 4 weeks for January, February, and 5 weeks for March. So but whatever, I'm just making an example. What you do is every week you're going to write something in that box at the end of the week. I don't care what you write, okay? Whatever is the right thing for your OKR, stick it in there. So in this case, for my weight, I wrote down 192 pounds. I wrote down my waist in inches, 42. For Kinky Polyatheist, my KRs are that I'm gonna, I want to know how many people are watching my videos and how many subscribers I got. So my first week, I wrote down 0 views, 0 subscribers, okay? And then the last one, be a great friend, I wrote down the names of 2 people that I happened to go have coffee with that week. And so this is literally what it looked like for my last quarter. I'm tracking, but I'm trying to track as little as possible. Does that make sense? I mean, Alex has seen some of my tracking. It involves lots of spreadsheets and things like that. And it's a nightmare, and I'm not recommending that for anybody. I'm recommending the simplest thing possible for you. And that's why there's only 1 box per week. You got a question?
That's actually, yeah, real quick there. That's actually a thing I've kind of realized is, like, you don't want to get kind of mired in the tracking, right? It's like that can overwhelm your time And you kind of understand why some managers their job is to track other people, because it can get overwhelming pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm an analysis paralysis kind of person. I overanalyze to avoid and not get done. So I know it about me. I also allow it because I like to do a lot of experimenting. So I create these crazy processes until they're overwhelming, and then I simplify them, and then I let them build up, and then I simplify them. So it's okay if your tracking starts to get bigger, because you're going to get overwhelmed. And that day you should say, what am I doing? And you should focus on, how do I make this simple again? From the beginning, I'm just trying to encourage you, keep it simple. So I'm going to keep walking through here. So action, we're gonna keep going. My first week went by. At the end of that week, I hired a coach, or during that week. So at the end of the week, I check that off. I hired a coach. I also go back to on the right, I go back to my OKR worksheet, and I check off that project as well. That project's done. It's done on my calendar, but it's also done in my project pile. So great, there's progress. That's what it looks like. Next, another week goes by, more tracking. I'm 189 pounds now. I've got some views on my videos. I've got 11 subscribers. I have 2 more coffee dates with 2 different people. Another week goes by. I get more tracking. I'm weighing myself every week. I've got some more views, some more subscribers, another coffee date with Joe. So now we've reached the end of the month. So at the end of the month, we're going to take a look at what else got done. Oh, I did my 4 workouts every week this month. Check that off. Kinky Polyatheist, I got my 4 videos per week out this month. Check that off. But I want to call out that if you look back on the right, I didn't check it off. Okay, that best shape of my life and Kinky Polyatheist on the right, they're not checked because I'm going to continue to be doing that project, right? So it's in my future. I'm working on this project. On my calendar, I've broken it into pieces for a month or a week that I can check off as I go. So I can see that progress, but also I know there's still a clear destination. So we're going to continue walking forward in time. Another week goes by. Another week goes by. Second week of February, if you look, I totally just hit my weight goal. I'm 178 pounds, and I was shooting for less than 180. So right there, I'm going to kind of make a big deal about it. I'm going to say, hey, I met my goal, and I'm actually going to take a moment to say, should I reassess my goals? What should I do differently? This number is kind of hard to see, but on the left, I'm changing the 180 to 170. So I set a new goal in the middle of this whole quarter, right? Just like when we were driving across the country, you can set a new goal. You can make decisions. Things can change. Things will change. Don't fight that. Let things change as they're supposed to. Hit your goal, ratchet up, right? What didn't change is that the OKR of best shape of my life still holds true. Does that make sense? Even though I hit my 180, I still want to be in the best shape of my life. And my decision was, you know what? I feel like I've definitely got some more I want to get rid of, and just update the number. Also, I want to call out this second week in February. If you could see here in the Kinky Polyatheist February, start a podcast was a project that came up. I had just ended up talking to a friend who worked at iHeartRadio and said, hey, you should have a podcast. I can help you out with that. We could probably get you commercials and stuff. And I thought, that's brilliant. That fits right into my Kinky Polyatheist OKR of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get views and subscribers. If I have a podcast, that's more eyeballs. That's perfect. So I added that project on the right worksheet, and I also added it right into February to say I'm going to start a podcast. Also mid-quarter, on the right there, I added caretaking checklist. That's something that came up as I should make a list of the things that I do that are kind of codependent that I should stop doing so I can catch myself. So I'm going to keep walking through time. Do some more tracking. I got to coffee with Cammie and Katrina. At the end of that week, I actually did finish the podcast, so I just checked it off already. Keep going through time. At the end of the month, I checked off no alcohol for a month. That was great. I did all my workouts, checked that off. Keep walking through time. We're tracking in December now, going. And this is about where we are right now, mid-December. And at the bottom, I just want to call out, be great friends in December. I was supposed to have a friend date with Devin. We were supposed to go out for coffee, and it didn't happen. But I still wrote it down. Like, hey, we were supposed to do something, but it got canceled. So I knew what happened that week. So if I look back, I can say, huh, how come I didn't do all these friend dates that I said I was going to do? And I have a little note there that lets me know what happened, which is nice. Then I did have a coffee with Devin, and then I got COVID. So like no friend dates. Also, I want to call out that I hit my second weight goal. So I hit my weight goal twice. And I drew a little star there just because I want to tell you guys, if you up the ante on any of your goals, start making it a big deal to yourself somehow. Like, instead of checking things, start putting a star there. Start saying that, hey, I've done more than expected. I did some bonus work here, and give yourself some extra celebration, if that makes sense. At the end of December, I also stopped, I decided to stop doing 4 videos a week for Kinky Polyatheist. And this is a little bit about what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes a project's going to end up in the done column, and it's not going to be finished, but it could be a really good thing. If I could beat myself up that I didn't get 4 videos a week out every week in December, but what really happened is I recognized that my project wasn't really just to ship a bunch of videos. My project was to basically blitz the channel with content because I just started it. So I wrote that in on the right. It says Blitz channel, and I checked it right off, right? I'm like at the end of the quarter, I recognized that I had a project running this whole time that I didn't actually write down, it just wasn't focused. And the moment I realized that, I wrote it down, checked it off, and now canceling those 4 videos a week seems awesome. I just saved myself so much time by saying I don't need to do these 4 videos a week every week anymore. Now I can start doing 2 videos a week because the channel's already been blitzed. Make sense? So decisions like that could come up as you go. And it's one of the reasons why I really like this worksheet on the left. It's a really light amount of tracking, and it lets you make those sorts of discoveries and decisions. And I want to stop and show you this slide from the very, very beginning of, I think, week 1 of these presentations, of these workshops. This is what success looks like. Just like that trip across the country, just like my last quarter, it's not a straight line. It goes all over the place. Sometimes you feel like you're going backwards. Sometimes you feel like you're not on track. But because you've got these OKRs, you have a direction that you just kind of keep going towards, even though you're tripping on stuff and knocking things over. And that's totally fine. This is what success looks like. So now I'm going to show you real quick, just doing that again. So in the timeline, I just finished December. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to set up January. Okay, so everything we just saw was last quarter. I'm about to show you how I'm going to set up this quarter for myself. It starts with that piece of paper I already have out for all my OKRs and all my pilot projects. All I do is revisit it. So what do we got? You see my little jumping numbers? Those are so cute. So I upped my ante again from less than 170 to less than 165 for my best shape of my life. I also decided I'm going to make a project when I'm going to be done with my coach. So in the next 3 months, I want to be done with having to check in with somebody every week to make sure I'm on the right track. I want to be able to do it 100% myself. So I'm going to roll off the coaching. I'm also deciding that I'm going to allow myself to have alcohol twice a month or less. So 2 nights a month or less. And just see how that goes. If it turns out to be a disaster, won't do that in the future. If it turns out to work, I will do more of it. I'm also, I just got a question. What's up?
So when you say like only two nights a week, are you putting a limit on what you are doing when you do?
2 nights a month, and you're right. The limit is I want to be in the best shape of my life. So okay. I have found that since I have lost all the weight, I am so much more conscious when I'm drinking because I love the way I look. And there's a saying like, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And it's true. So I've gotten to that feeling where it's like when the alcohol comes out, I'm not always excited about it. Like I don't need this. I really, really feel amazing. And I find that I've been having a lot of fun at parties being sober the whole time, and nobody even realizes it. And the best part about showing up to a party and being sober all night is that while they're drinking, I just get funnier and funnier in their eyes, right? Like, it's great.
Their bar's lowering, but yours is still the same.
Yeah. My jokes just get better and better. So I'm experimenting a little bit with, do I want to reintroduce alcohol or not? But I'm definitely glad I took a month off and really got a chance to be in social situations and see what that feels like without the alcohol and still have a great time.
So even though you don't have a specific thing beyond the bigger goal, you've already passed 2 of those goals, and that motivation is stronger than any limit you could put on yourself for that night.
Yes. And it comes back to that vision board I was showing you guys last time, where having your why, that is a big deal. When you know why you're doing something, it is so much easier to just get it right, because you're charged, you're excited, and you run towards it passionately. And when you're standing there, like I've got a photo coming up that I'll show you, but it's a photo of me and a friend basically skinny dipping in the Colorado River. And it is, in my opinion, my favorite photo of myself ever. And that photo is on my wall. So when I say to myself, do I want to have these cupcakes or do I want to drink some alcohol? I think of that photo, and the cupcakes don't even matter anymore. Like, it's a silly question to even ask now, because what I really want is to be skinny dipping in that river and getting photos of it. So over on the Kinky Polyatheist, I went from blitzing the channel to now my project is, okay, I'm going to grow my brand. And that's still going to kind of focus on views and subscribers. I also decided to start a fans only, because I ran into some trouble on YouTube where I got a warning and I just don't want to deal with it. And I'm going to start moving more explicit things, more kinky things to OnlyFans and just charging for it. So just see how that goes. And so I added a revenue KR. So a key result that I'm tracking this quarter is going to be, how much money do I make? Okay. And then over on the Be a Great Friend, I had that caretaking checklist, and it's cool, but I can't check off that project. I made this list, and I was supposed to look at it every so often to make sure I wasn't falling into some bad patterns. So I made it a new project here. Make a monthly alarm. And so now I have an alarm that goes off every month that says, hey, go read your checklist. Make sure you're not kidding yourself about progress. And because I did that, now I can check that off, right? I've got an alarm. It's going to go off every month. I'm going to see the checklist every month. I'm satisfied that project is good to go. So I'm just going to check that off right now before I even start planning how I'm going to lay out my next quarter. Okay, so took our worksheet from last time, just updated some stuff on it, cross things out, draw in new projects, whatever. Also, I want to call out that these projects, they're shaped like a Post-it note on purpose. So if you find yourself wanting to add more projects on your worksheet, sometimes a Post-it note, just write on a Post-it note and stick it right on there. That's one of the fastest, easiest ways to just do it. So, and you can actually move Post-it notes. You can pull a Post-it note off of it and stick it right on the worksheet on the left. So if that works for you, do it. If you want to draw it, whatever works for you. So now we're going to go talking about making our actual plan. Before I do that, are there any questions on just that right side and how it got updated? Okay, I'm sensing a no. So we're going to plan on that next worksheet. We're just going to copy over our OKRs. We're going to add in that gross revenue for Kinky Polyatheist, right? So nothing amazing happened there. And now I'm just going to map out the projects that I plan on doing. So for January, I'm going to do my 4 workouts a week. I'm going to try alcohol twice a month or less. And I'm going to do that again in February. I'm going to do that again in March. And also in March, I have that coaching is going to be done. So by the end of March, I should no longer need my health coach. That's my plan. For Kinky Polyatheist, I have start a fans only. I have make my first $1. In February, I'm going to make a ropes course. So it's going to be like a workshop video thing where I'm just going to do a bunch of dies and I'm going to stick it on fans only and see what happens. And in March, I've written identify another project, right? And I want to point out that's totally acceptable. You can decide, you know what? clearly I got to do something in March, but I don't know what it is yet. So I'm just going to make a note. Don't forget, figure something out here. You can also just leave them blank if that's good for you, right? If you get to March and you realize you have 2 blanks and you want to fill one in, go right ahead. Whatever works for you is really what I'm going to encourage you to do. Experiment, let things work or fail, and get better. From here, we just switch to action and we're good to go. So filling out that worksheet on the left really shouldn't take that long. And I really want to make sure you understand you can change it, okay? I know I want you to feel like things you put on that worksheet are you committed to, but if something changes, don't beat yourself up, right? It's better to have a better project. It's better to cross something out and write something better than it is to beat yourself up because you didn't get your 4 workouts a week, right? Like, for example, if you don't get your 4 workouts a week, maybe in the middle of January, you add another project that says, get your sneakers on by 8 a.m. and get out the front door. That's it. That's your project for the rest of the month. And maybe that's the thing that gets you to your workouts, right? Just putting your sneakers on and getting out the front door. So sometimes you can identify a better project. So we're going to talk, we're going to go from that plan to tracking what you're doing. And we're going to talk about tracking versus scorecards. So here is an example of tracking. And I feel like everybody knows this. It's literally just, here's a bunch of that I'm going to track, and every week I write down some numbers. It looks a lot like that worksheet that was on the left, right? You can go crazy overboard with tracking, and trust me, I do it all the time. Don't be like me. What you really want to do, oh wait, hold up. I think I have one more point to make. Tracking's a list of data. It's useful, but it's boring. I want to call that out. This is useful. This is boring, okay? A scorecard is taking whatever it is that you're tracking for whatever goal or whatever and making it fun and easy, okay? And this is where you're going to have to get creative. And I'm going to show you a lot of examples, but what it comes down to is you're going to find the right scorecard for you. And a scorecard should be fun and easy, okay? Scorecards are creatively showing off results. And I do want to use that word, show off. I want you to be a show off, okay? If you're someone who's like introverted like me, I'm telling you, I give you permission to show off your results all the time on Instagram, on Facebook, text your friends, tell your friends. I want you to show off. And I want you to take a lot of photos and a lot of screenshots, okay? Scorecards can literally be that easy. Take a photo of a thing that, like, for example, I lost some weight. I took a photo. I sent it to my friend, right? A friend that I trust with this goal that I'm working on. And my friend replies, wow, you look awesome, right? That is the scorecard. I'm keeping score by grabbing photos of me looking great, feeling great, and sharing them. Again, I want to call out the whole point behind the scorecards is to keep it as simple as possible. So now I'm going to start showing you some scorecards. This is my tracking for my health goal. Be in the best shape of your life. Lose 30 pounds and shave off, I think it was 6-7 inches off my waist. Now, this is exactly what I did, and it's boring, and it works. It's very helpful. It's really good to look at numbers from time to time. The numbers you focus on will improve. That's just how human nature is. What you focus on will improve. So doing this was great. Also, which one would you rather have? This worksheet on the left, sorry, this tracking spreadsheet on the left, or would you rather have this? Here's a photo. Here's a photo of the scale where I lost 12 pounds. Here's a photo of me like rocking my goal shirt. Like I finally fit in that shirt. Here's another updated photo of me. Here's me in my second goal shirt that I didn't think I would fit in, that is now too big. Here's a photo of me at a party with a friend, wearing a vest that I bought that did not button because I never intended it to. It was just a $2 vest I got from Savers, and I put it on that day and it buttoned up, which is like, it broke my mind. I never expected that thing to button up. That was the moment I realized I'm way skinnier than I ever expected to be. I'm literally putting on a vest that doesn't fit. Here's my tracking I have a tracking app, MyFitnessPal. Very easy. I step on the scale, I write it in the MyFitnessPal, I walk away. And it creates this little graph for you. So here's my graph. I'm down 30 pounds. All I did was take a screenshot on my phone, right? Super easy. Here's the shot of me after we just skinny dipped in the Colorado River. And I love it. It is like the best photo of myself ever. And we're in the middle of an amazing experience that you could just see the smile on my face, on her face. And it just, this captures everything I'm about when I say I want to be in the best shape of my life, right? So welcome to the best year of my life, right? Right here, damn, I just got choked up. Right here, this is what I was after the whole time. So, okay, so next, here's another example. This is Kinky Polyatheist. I'm making videos, okay? I just happened to start a spreadsheet at some point just to keep track of all the crap that had to get done. And it's here, it's useful, it's boring, okay? Here's the name of every video I had done. Pick a topic, finish recording it, upload it, like all this stuff. It's getting done. Also, it's really boring compared to this, which is the folder full of thumbnails that build up. So as I'm making these videos, I have to make a thumbnail for Facebook, or sorry, for YouTube. Every time I make one of these thumbnails, they just sit around in a folder on my computer as well. And so I started getting in the habit of just opening up that folder and looking at it and going, damn, look how much I did. Again, I'm getting choked up. Like that's how it has to feel, right? That's what I want for you guys. Welcome to the best year of my life. Look, it's right there. I have to like catch my breath. Give me a second. Here's another one. So be a great friend. I decided quality time was a way to measure there. Real connections was what I wanted to measure. But I didn't really understand what I was doing as far as making KRs for that. Like these key results, they kind of don't make that much sense. They're hard to measure. So I kind of I just put these photos on my wall by accident. I just said, I want some photos of my friends and me. So I started taking selfies with friends. And I kind of updated that to be a great friend. My KR is selfies of great times with great people. Just put them on the wall. And now this is what I have. Like, which one would you rather have? A spreadsheet or a wall full of photos? Right? And I want you guys to really take that to heart. Like, in your homework, if you choose it, print out a photo of whatever it is you're after. Not just your friends. Print out a photo of whatever your goal is, your progress, and just stick it on your wall and see where it goes. Because you could just end up with a bunch of photos on your wall that you walk past every day that really motivate you, right? Here's another example. Total accident. I actually discovered this morning. This is my Instagram. This is my kinky Instagram. If you look at it, it is accidentally tracking my rope bondage skills. So I do a lot of rope ties and things like that. And I was taking photos and I was sticking on this Instagram. This Instagram was something that I made that was kind of like meant to be anonymous, where it's just like, I'm just going to put up these photos and have fun and see if anybody gives a crap, right? But not even mix it up with my personal life or any of that, Like my mom's never going to find this Instagram. But by giving myself permission to just post photos of celebrating my success on things, they just collected. And now I have right here a scorecard of just, here's my progress on rope. And what's amazing about this one specifically is that whenever I come across somebody who's interested, I open up my Instagram and I just point the phone at them and say, here it is, what do you like? And they'll scroll through and say, that's cool, can we do that? Can you teach me that? And I'll say, yeah, right? And so all I did was take a photo and put it on Instagram. That was it. So
that's so funny because it's like actually coincidentally one of the things I want to do since I'm a visual artist is like, have better upkeep on my Instagram, for marketing and stuff. So
yeah,
it actually is one of my goals.
And I want to say, I'm glad you said that because I turned the corner just recently on, I'm posted on my accounts to try and get marketing and get people to look at my stuff. When I saw this morning, it hit me. I love posting on this, right? It has nothing to do with marketing. Look at that. I have 67 followers. I don't even know these people, right? Like I made this account to be anonymous, to not even involve any of my friends, so that I could post things I wanted to post without worry, because I didn't know how kinky it would be. I didn't know how naked it would be. Like, I wasn't sure. And what do you know? Not people are not only following it, but I'm loving putting a new tie on there, a photo of a new tie. I'm excited about it, and it's marketing automatically, right?
Right. Exactly. I think that you and I both have that in common. It's like it's their passion, which happens to be a great advertising thing, right?
Yes. So if you can capture that, if you could capture the I'm excited about this, other people are going to feel it too. Right?
Absolutely.
So because I'm posting what I'm excited about, people can't help but feel my excitement. And that drives more marketing by accident, right? So I'm stopped this quarter. I'm telling myself, I am not focusing on marketing. I'm focusing on very loudly declaring all of my victories that I'm so in love with, because I get to be the person that I want to be.
Exactly.
Right? So welcome to the best of your life. So again, homework, just optional. Perhaps maybe make a new Instagram account, right? Perhaps there's something that's blocking you that you don't realize is blocking you, and you could just make some anonymous account. It's just for you. Don't give a crap about who else sees it. And then just start posting your victories and allow yourself to bask in your own victories, right? And enjoy the life you're building. Also, maybe make a hashtag. You know, there might be something that's very specific to you. It's just like hashtag something that really just describes the excitement behind your life, so that when you're in the moment, you might find yourself saying it. Like, for example, yes to adventure is something that I like. So I could find myself standing there next to the Colorado River when my friend looks at me and says, there's no one around. I'm thinking I might jump in. You want to jump in? And my thought was, hashtag yes to adventure. And yes, we jumped in, right? So for me, that's my hashtag. When it happens, I was actually at dinner 2 nights ago with Alex and my other roommate. And this tequila came out that has a scorpion in it, like a real scorpion. And you're supposed to drink it, scorpion and all. And at that moment, I was like, hashtag yes to adventure. Like, give it to me. I'll take it. So you might find the hashtag for you, the thing that also fuels your why. It just speaks it.
Did you notice anything with the scorpion? Did it taste okay? Did it just go down quick? How was that? I'm just really curious.
It was just like taking a pill. Like, it just slides down your throat. You don't even think about it. But it's more of like getting over the, oh my God, there it is. But basically, I was like, I've never done this. When will I ever get a chance to do this again? Hell yes. So here's another example. We have the Dream Team Facebook group, and I know all of you are already on it. But the short version is post your victories in there. That's what it's for, right? If you think about my Instagram account, if I had taken every one of those photos and just posted it into Dream Team, I would have gotten response from other people in Dream Team saying, you're killing it, right? Like, awesome, congratulations on your victory. You know, you're inspiring me, all that stuff. We could chain react off each other in this group. That's what it's for. So post your victories in there, because it's also your scorecard. You get to kind of just scroll back in time and say, oh, wow, I remember what I did that, right? The stuff adds up. So I want to take a moment. I just want to call out we're at 5 o'clock. We're maybe going to go for another 20 minutes. Do you guys want to brainstorm about any of the stuff that you're working on? Would you like to brainstorm about any of the things that you would like a scorecard for? I actually ran into Alex earlier today, and he was telling me a little bit about his OKRs and some of his projects. Like, would anybody like to share any of their OKRs or OKRs that they're still working on, or any projects, and we could talk about some scorecards as just like brainstorm as a group? I'm looking for a volunteer. Alex, Jason, Melissa's flustered.
All right, maybe I'll go along with you for one here.
Sweet. What do you got?
Okay, so overall, one of the OKRs I have is just online T-shirt designs.
Nice. That
So
sounds awesome.
Well, I've already been doing it, and it's actually doing okay. It's a side revenue, which is one of my main goals, is to have a side revenue that becomes a main revenue.
Sweet.
And my big passion for it is it's not too difficult for me to do. I have some great mentors for it already. It's a recurring revenue stream where you make something and
Yeah.
even things that I've done before that I didn't really anticipate where it would be a design that would be successful for one thing, it would be for another. So if I made like I made some pride shirts, and I thought, oh, these are great little pride shirts, for like, at the time it was like the summertime. There's a lot of pride parades that were still tentatively going on this year. And it ended up, of course, that one of them said it was two different, it was a couples one. It was a pitcher and a catcher one. And they were done like in a very baseball, type of thing. I did variations between rainbows or just very traditional things. And I thought, okay, this is cool. It's for pride. And it did okay. But come Halloween time, holy shit, it ended up becoming another recurring revenue and ended up doing well in a way that I never imagined it would do. And sold way more during Christmas time because, of course, there's gay couples that want to sit there and completely get this fun little sporty, kind of revenue thing. And it did okay. And it just came out of nowhere. It was 4 months after I originally made them and past the time that I thought they were going to do any good. And I sat there and went, holy crap, this is something that made me some money. And I didn't even anticipate it was going to make me some money right now. And why am I not doing this all the time? So I'm
scorecards. How do you find yourself inspired? Like, do you like open up your store and just see like all your items in your store and get inspired?
Oh yes, yeah. And to the point that I've been able to categorize them now to specific holidays, specific genres, and those kind of things. And as far as the KRs go, as far as the measurable ways, I'm deciding to do one new design per week consistently. Nice. I kind of have a bad reputation, a bad habit of doing a lot. Instead of going deep, I go wide, and that's not necessarily a good idea because it's just wasting a lot of energy. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to do one. My specifically is one perfect design. So instead of doing 12 crappy ones, I'm going to sit there and look at my design and go, what makes this the best one possible? Mm-hmm. Great, this is the one I go. Put it towards one of my vendors. Put it on my other sites, and then increase my revenue by 20% in each quarter. Nice. Which might seem like a crazy thing, but it's not. I have a very modest side income from this, so we're talking a difference of about $10 per quarter.
So maybe your tracking or scorecard for that would be something as simple as just opening up your store. I'm sure you have like a behind the scenes kind of account area or members area, and just taking a screenshot of the revenue. You probably have a graph or something.
Oh yeah.
Just grab a screenshot. And then there you go. It doesn't have to be complicated, right?
Nope. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And you see that group get bigger and bigger, or you see like this, I'm sure you're doing the same thing with your analytics where you see those analytics going up.
Yep.
And you go, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
And what's funny is when you just take a screenshot, you're not doing much.
No.
But 2 months from now, looking back at a screenshot from 2 months ago, you're like, wow, that's what it looked like when I only had 3 shirts instead of 30.
I always kind of laugh when I look at like the marketing people that do this insane amount of analysis at stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And you're just like, come on, you're not looking at all of these numbers. You're sincerely not. Somebody's getting a paycheck for making these numbers, sure, but there's no way in hell that you're looking at all these numbers the way that you need to be looking at these numbers.
The one thing I like that you said that I kind of wanted to call out for everybody was that you said that you found a shirt or an idea that worked and then worked again and worked again.
Right.
I had a video like that. I put up a video of just a simple harness. It's like, let me show you how to tie this harness. And it took me like 5 minutes to make. But that one immediately became my most seen video. And so I kind of put a new project in there like, okay, well, I'm going to make a ropes course because clearly people want this. Mm-hmm. So exactly, I made a pivot and I made a new project based on the results I was getting. And it sounds like you did the same thing. You realized, wait a minute, I'm going to focus on making fewer designs, better designs based on that other one so that I can try and get that reoccurring.
And based off the mentor I had, he said exactly that. He goes, look at the percentage of whatever you have for your designs, look at what's making you the most money, and then focus that percentage of your energy towards that percentage of your revenue.
Yep.
And I'm like,
remember
that makes a lot of sense. Holy cow.
Remember at the beginning when I said maximize the work not done? That's exactly what it was. Where now you're making one design, not 10 designs. Mm-hmm. So 9 of them get not thrown away, but you're not spending any time on those 9. You're spending time on the one that's going to make the most money. Yeah, that's brilliant. Sweet. Anybody else want to talk about their OKRs or any tracking or scorecard possibilities? Oh, dead silence. All right, well then I'm gonna move on. So I'm gonna walk through the templates that you guys are gonna see. And they start with those two worksheets that I showed you earlier. Again, this is as simple as I could make it. And I plan on sticking with this. Alex has seen my process and it gets out of control real fast. I am committed to sticking to this quarter. So if you need it, if you need more, print more. So if you decide, you're gonna have 6 like mini OKRs or something like that, by all means, print another worksheet. If you decide you need more, that Q1 page on the left, just print more. Again, Post-its are great. So if you decide you have more projects and you can actually fit, you can't like pencil them in, just stick a Post-it on there. And then you just have like a stack of Post-its and you can just rip them off and look at them and put them back. Works out great. I want to call out that one of them you're going to do once a year, right? That's the plan. The other one you're going to do once a quarter. That's a total of 5 pieces of paper a year. Okay, that's how easy I want this to be for you. Right? I'm about to show you some more tracking stuff that looks out of control, and we'll get through it. But bare minimum, 5 pieces of paper can get you through 2021. Right? I believe that's doable for anyone. I'm going to talk about the other documents, which are like crazy spreadsheets. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I made them, why they exist. I'm saying right out loud, they are boring. They get the job done. They're a little overwhelming to look at. When it comes to tracking stuff, I'm going to encourage you to just print them out and start there. And what's going to happen is it's just going to get you tracking a couple numbers, and then your actual scorecard will start to come to the surface. You'll start to realize, you know what? I hate this boring spreadsheet. How can I do this better? And then you'll start like finding ways to brainstorm, like maybe I'll put a picture of something on my wall, that sort of stuff, or an Instagram account, or et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, replace them over time with super cool scorecards. Here's what they're going to be. There's a tracker for all of 2021. It's 1 page. It has every week in the year, and it's broken into 4 quarters. So you have 1 piece of paper. You could write down in OKRs, the objective, your key results, and then just write down your results. And the point is, I took the time to make a piece of paper that had every date on it, every week in the year, because that's super annoying, and I just want you to print it out and not have to do that part. I want you to have easy. So that's the whole point of the piece of paper. It's supposed to be easy. Don't let it be overwhelming. There's another piece of paper, if you decide it's useful. It has a month on it, and it has every week in that month. So it's broken down in a smaller scale. And there's another piece of paper that has the weeks on it. So it's a weekly tracker, and it breaks down the days. And I'm going to show you what they look like real quick. Again, they look like a lot, but really this is just one thing. So here's your 1 project or 1 OKR in a year on 1 piece of paper. Every row is a week. And in the columns, you can see KR1, KR2, KR3. So those are the things you're tracking. And all you're going to do is just write in whatever that is for that week. So if you're tracking your weight, you're just going to step on a scale, write a number every week. That's it. If you're tracking friend dates like I was, you're going to write down the names of people. Whatever works for you for whatever project you're working on. Okay, so this was the year. Here's the month. They're identical. There's just less rows on this one because you've got week 1, week 2, week 3 is how it's broken up, and then you've got every day of the week. I start the weeks on Monday so that you start with you front load the work basically. If you're doing work, do it on a weekday so you can plan on taking Saturday and Sunday off. Again, it's just write that number. When you weigh yourself, write it down. If you miss a day, so what? Right? Just pick it up the next day. And then this is the last one. You can either track 1 OKR week over week, or you can throw a couple OKRs on here for 1 week. But the whole point is you write the target you're after for each OKR there on the left. And then every day of the week, you'd write down what you did or what your numbers are. And by the end of the week, you'd find out what you actually did. So for example, if I said I was going to make, 100 sales calls, and I was going to make 20 a day, then I could write down my target is 100. On Monday, I did 20. On Tuesday, I did 25. On Wednesday, I did nothing. And when I get to the end of the week, I can see what the actual number was. And then next week I can adjust my numbers to what makes sense, you know? So it's just a nice numbers tracked improve. That's the only reason why I'm even sharing these with you. Numbers tracked improve. And I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you guys to do that. Some other ideas for trackers. And oh, I saw someone with a camera. Do you want to try that again? Okay. Other ideas for trackers and scorecards. Again, an Instagram account. Maybe you already have one, right? If you already have an Instagram account, permission yourself to post things, right? Like Jason, if you took a screenshot every time you put a new product in your store and stuck it on your personal Instagram account as a, I'm so excited, I just made this design, and it's available, right? And you're just share the excitement, you're marketing, right? And you're not doing it in a markety kind of company way. You're just sharing your own personal story and your journey and your excitement. So share your victories. So you could do that with your Instagram account. You could literally just write it on a calendar. Just check every day, did I work out? That sort of a thing. You could write it on a whiteboard. You could go buy a planner or a book or something like that and use it just like you would use a calendar. You could just get a piece of paper or a spiral bound notebook. Alex, you're so good at this. Alex just gets a piece of paper, scribbles whatever it is at the top, starts tracking and walks away. Like zero planning. And it works. I've been seeing Alex crush goals by just having like a loose leaf piece of paper. So do that if that's what works for you. And all I'm doing here is trying to create options. All my worksheets and all that stuff, I'm just trying to give you options. I want you to start there and then move to what works best for you. And the short version is do whatever it takes. And what you'll find is when you're really connected to your why, you will start doing whatever it takes, right? Like when I realized that I wanted to lose the weight and I was starting to lose the weight, the idea of, you know what, I'm just not going to drink for a month. Like the why pushed that. And I was willing to do whatever it took to get the next 10 pounds off. And I just did whatever it took. And it took hiring a coach. It took following their directions. It took not drinking anymore. But holy crap, as soon as you're committed to doing whatever it takes, it gets done, right? So don't be afraid to just do whatever it takes for you when it comes to tracking or scorecards. And whatever it takes could be, it's boring and annoying, but I'm still going to write this number down every day. Or whatever it takes could be, it's boring and annoying and I'm finding a better way. You know, I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to be committed to taking a screenshot on my phone every day. And that's how I'm going to track. Whatever works for you, do whatever it takes. So that was this whole thing. The summary, how to play to win. I want to recap. The word play was in there on purpose and win was in there on purpose. So make it fun, right? Share your wins. Our map for success was a roadmap. That is a key word, okay? If you Googled that word, you'd find lots of advice about roadmaps and project manager speak and stuff like that. But the short version is we made a roadmap. In the future, we might be in like, I don't know, like a call together or something like that. And someone might say, hey, have you done your road mapping? I want to make sure that everybody knows that's why we use that word. Road mapping was that whole process of taking all the stuff that you could do and making a plan. That's road mapping. Number 2, keeping score with scorecards and photos. And I cannot say it enough. Photos are just such an amazing way to really power your why without even realizing you're doing it. I mean, you guys saw me get choked up, right? And then we went over the templates, which again, don't make them easy. If they're not easy, don't use them. Do whatever it takes. So from here, if you're not already in the group, join the group. I know you guys are in the group. And then post progress and victories. I have a photo that I put up on Fridays that say show and tell, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you to post photos of your victories so that you can start looking back at the show and tell and realize, oh, wow, that's right. I did that 2 weeks ago and I did that a month ago and look how far I've gone. I'm thinking about making some kind of like accountability call, something, if you guys are interested, where we just kind of like hop on a call. Yeah, Jason's all in. We just hop on a call like maybe once a week and just make it easy and fast as possible. And just maybe just go around on the call and just have everybody say, hey guys, here's my victories from last week. And here's the projects I'm going to tackle this week. And I can't wait because, you know, let me tell you what my why is. and just reconnect with our why with people who are also excited. And when you have something that you're tripping on, you've got people there to give you advice or ideas and things like that. So I would love to start an accountability call and have it be, I don't know, a half an hour where we just hop on and just talk, just get it out there. This is what we're doing.
I think I love that idea, mostly because like I'm notorious for banging my head up against the wall till something goes and just turns me 5 degrees and I take off. So that'd be great. Yeah.
Awesome. And I've already had some of you like pull me aside or text me and just say like, I'm a little overwhelmed with this thing, or I'm not sure about that thing. Like, what if we could just get on a call and it was okay to talk about those things, right? And by talking about them together, like odds are somebody else is hearing something that's helping them. So let's do that. Let's just get it out in the open and have everybody, win together. So cool. I'll circle back with you guys specifically about starting an accountability call. Also, I plan on doing, so the same way I've been doing these Kinky Polyatheist videos, I'm planning on starting something up with productivity tools and project management stuff, because I just love that stuff. And it's just me. I know not everybody's into it, but I am. And I just have a collection of project management tools. And I think I'm just going to start making like little 5-minute videos and posting them on YouTube and just sharing tools. And hopefully, if we did do accountability calls, maybe I could like do a little 5-minute, hey guys, here's a tool that I just remembered. And let me tell you how it works. If it works for you, use it. If it doesn't, change it or throw it out. But just kind of like share the knowledge. Could be a lot of fun. I'm going to wrap it up now. And I want to start by saying, remember your why. It all comes back to that. If you really remember your why, when people ask, what do? You will tell them whatever it takes. Okay? When you really are powered by your why, it doesn't matter what you're doing, right? This is just busy work because I'm getting to that thing over there and I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I hope you can start to really feel this. Welcome to the best year of my life. Like, you saw me getting choked up. Like, I want that for each of you. When you are really going after the life you want, you will be blown away by what can actually happen to you. And that powered by your why, you are unstoppable. So if you ever feel like you're slowing down, or you're losing your momentum, or something's happening that's pulling you down, stop worrying about the work and go back to your why. Because when you can reconnect with your why, suddenly it's not work anymore. It's fun and you can't wait to get there. Okay? Sweet. So that's the whole thing for this week. Do you guys have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about?
Well, thanks for making a roadmap for the best year of my life, man.
My pleasure. I'm so excited I'm so excited to have you guys like doing this, because I've always wanted to do something like this and I've just never had a chance or never had a group to do it with. So like putting the time into making these little presentations, I had a lot of fun doing it and I was excited about it. I was excited about sharing, and seeing some of your excitement and getting some of your questions and texts and things like that. It's actually been making me excited about doing more of it. And I'm already talking about making videos for various like little productivity tools and things like that. So,
well, I mean, for years I've been just kind of like looking at you going, God, look at this guy just killing it. He's just killing it. And every single time I was like, yeah. How are you, what's going on? How are you doing this? And you've always been so open and enthusiastic about whatever question I had.
Yeah.
About whatever, whether it was like, your with your real estate deals or just how you were able to get rid of a full-time job. And I was like, okay, yeah. So let's just start asking the people that are smart and seem to be doing it, how to do more of this. And you've been very generous. So I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I'm thank you for saying so. And I appreciate people who want to also do it too. Like I can't tell you how much it inspires me to hear you guys talk about the dreams you're going after. So, and I'm really excited about being part of that, as far as seeing each of you like just move forward in your journey, right? Like I'm very excited to see people moving forward in their journey, whatever that is for them. So sweet. Anybody else have any questions or comments or anything? Awesome. Again, we'll figure out some kind of a call or something like that. I would like to do more of these. I have to say that I did kind of overwhelm myself a little bit with these presentations. They were a lot of work, and an hour-long call is a lot. And I feel like I was rushing through them because there's just so much information. I definitely am thinking about doing smaller bites and sharing more in the future. And yeah, a simple call, like what was that called? A scrum. And Jason and I used to scrum. It's basically, these are the highlights. Like, this is what I did yesterday. These are the highlights. Or this is what I did last week. These are the highlights.
What's your goal for the week? What are we doing?
What I'm doing today.
Who are we missing? Do we have to push this back? Okay, let's go.
Things that are hurdles. And then everyone just, you get encouraged. It's so amazing. When you say, here's 3 things I did. Sorry. Here's 3 things I did. And this one thing that is slowing me down. And this next week, I'm doing these 2 other things. Someone will chime in and say, hey, that thing that's slowing you down, I got an idea. And then suddenly, you're just like, you're knocking down roadblocks because you're just talking to people. It's really great. It's really great.
You have a support staff. You have a support group. You know, you don't feel like you're in this alone. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about starting like a little mastermindy thing and just seeing where it goes. Sweet. All right.
Sounds great, man.
All right. Thank you all. And I will talk to you soon. Have a happy new year. And I'm hoping you all crush 2021 and it becomes the best year of your life.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations on all you've done there, man. I can't wait to see what you do in the new year also. And everybody else over here, I'm so thrilled to see what you all do too.
Great.
You guys as well. Thanks, Danny.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.